Christy is directed by David Michôd, the man behind The Rover and Animal Kingdom, and stars Sydney Sweeney as boxer Christy Martin. The film chronicles the story of Christy Martin, the most successful female boxer of the 1990s, including her horrific relationship with her trainer and later husband, Jim Martin, played by Ben Foster. And along with this film, I'm really excited about Keeper, which opens on November 14th. This film is directed by Osgood Perkins, the man behind Longlegs and The Monkey. James Wan says Keeper is a terrifying, ghostly descent into madness. Guillermo del Toro says Keeper is pure Perkins horror origami that skillfully folds into itself, and Damien Leone says Perkins further establishes himself as a formidable voice in horror. From Osgood Perkins, the director of Longlegs and The Monkey, comes a new breed of nightmare. So don't miss the horror event of the season. Keeper opens in theaters nationwide November 14th. I got an early look at about 30 minutes of the movie, and I agree with everything those filmmakers said. Definitely don't miss this one when it opens in theaters on November 14th. I don't really follow the boxing world. I usually get informed of boxers through movies that I really enjoy, like this one. I didn't really know much about Christy Martin, and I cannot believe that this insane story somehow missed my radar, because it's not just about the accomplishments that she made as a female boxer, gaining more notoriety for women boxers, but it's also the truly terrifying relationship that she had with her husband and trainer, played by Ben Foster, who is horrifying in this movie. He plays an absolute monster of a human being. I won't get into any spoilers if you don't know anything about the true story, because I didn't, and so some events in the film were quite shocking for me, and I want to make sure that I maintain that for you. But he's a really terrible person, not just for the things that he does in the movie, but also his beliefs and ideologies. Christy Martin is a queer woman, and everyone from her trainer to her family are trying to make sure that nobody knows about that and keep her dating men. And she is also a woman who's trying to become known in the boxing world, which at the time was incredibly difficult. And it took people like Don King to make a difference in her life. And you can tell as you're watching the movie, all of the people that are holding her back, all of the people that are keeping her in one spot and not letting her flourish, not just in boxing, but in her personal life, in her romantic life. And that's something that I really relate to, the idea that you are boxed in. It took a while for me to come to terms with my own queer identity and eventually to talk about it in a public way, because you are perceived as one thing and it's really difficult sometimes to break out of that box. And that's why I really understood this film and really related to Christy Martin's journey. She went through quite a bit and proved herself time and time again, not just with her talent, but with how driven she was. She had a goal and she met that goal, and she always exceeded those goals and found a new mountain to climb afterwards. Sydney Sweeney is really great here. This is probably the best work I have ever seen from her. She's fantastic in this film, and her scenes with Ben Foster are very, very scary. As I said, it feels like he's not trying. It feels like he's doing nothing as an actor. And that's exactly what I think an actor loves to hear, because I can imagine that this role was very difficult for Foster. This character is a guy who dressed like everyone else in 1992, and then in 2010 is still dressing like that. He never changed his style. And he is definitely one of the best villains of the year, because I absolutely loathed his guts. I hated him. Foster is terrific here. As good as Sydney Sweeney is, I could totally see Foster getting awards recognition, because he disappeared. I did not see him. Also great, Katy O'Brien. I always love seeing her in movies. She's really terrific here too. The boxing scenes are compelling, but the movie doesn't necessarily focus as much on them as you might like. This is definitely more of a character study, and there are times where we are not in the ring for a very long time. And actually, those are my favorite parts of the whole movie. Once this husband-wife horrific relationship really starts to take center stage and the back and forth there gets really toxic and even criminal, that's where this film really, really shines. And I found so much, I don't want to say enjoyment, but I was definitely riveted by those aspects of this film. This is also one of those true story movies where afterwards I was just sitting around thinking, like, how have I not heard about this? This is crazy. Sometimes you see a true story movie and it just kind of smacks you in the face, like, how did this story pass by? But this is one of those stories. So don't let this movie pass you by. It's actually quite good. I think the acting in it is phenomenal. The boxing scenes are a lot of fun, but it is that central relationship between Sydney Sweeney and Ben Foster's characters that really make this movie worth seeing. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching. Look forward to more videos very soon. And if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.